Hi, everybody. We're going to talk about products versus brands. So, what is a product? Just something of perceived value that can be exchanged with another party. What is value? It's the net worth, net benefits, the net utility. It's what's in it for me versus what do I have to give up. Value is equal to benefits versus costs. Now, another way to think about a product is the whole product concept, where we divide the product up into three different levels or dimensions. So the core product refers to the benefits provided by the product. The actual product refers to the features that deliver the benefits. The augmented product refers to additional features that provide additional or different benefits. Now, this is an important idea because at the heart of it, most good brands can provide the same core product, the same benefits, because they often have the same features. But many brands use the augmented product, the different features and that deliver different benefits to differentiate their brand. Now, we haven't really defined what benefits are, so let's just do that very quickly. So, normally we talk about three different types of benefits. First, there's functional benefits. The benefit helps us achieve a goal. We buy gas and put it in our car not because we like to buy gas, but because we want to go somewhere, because that's important to us. Then there are two types of emotional benefits. One is psychosocial. It's a benefit where we get enhanced self-esteem. It can also be status, where we purchase something and the benefit is we believe that other people are going to view us more favorably. And then the other emotional type of benefit is experiential. And it's just the idea that we're a central being. We pick food because it tastes good. We like certain music or certain music players because it sounds good to us. We can feel the music. We pick out certain clothes because how they feel on our body. It's just reminding that, hey, that's a big part of how we pick many different brands. Now, to run through a quick example of the whole product concept, we'll take a Bluetooth speaker. So the core product, the main benefit is, at least for me, I can listen to music wherever and whenever I want, and it might help me get psyched up for a competition or some event or something I'm going to do, and also it enhances social events. We're having a party, and we want everybody to have a good time. I want some romantic music, and so forth. Now, what are some of the actual product, the features that deliver that? Well, Bluetooth or an auxiliary, outlet to plug my phone into, sound quality, the size and weight, the watts per channel, how loud it is, how long we'll play for. Potential augmented product parts might be, hey, the design of the speaker. Harman Kardon has some really cool looking speakers. Some very small speakers have a really loud sound. The power bank. I can charge my phone at the same time. The length of the warranty. The ability to pair it with other speakers, so now I can have 2, 3, 4 speakers going at the same time. The brand name. Is it some Chinese brand off of Amazon? Or is it Beats? Or both? So that's one way to think about a product, and we'll review this again when we talk about new product design. Now we're going to talk about products that aren't brands. And the first is the idea of commodities. So a commodity is an equivalent, interchangeable good or service that lack unique differentiating factors. In other words, they're all the same. Okay? Lumber, iron ore, flour, beef, corn, crude oil, right? They're all basically the same. We can also think about brands that we view or perceive as commodities. If you go to the freezer and you want some green beans, do you really care what brand it is? Do you really care what brand of motor oil you put in your car as long as it's the right kind? Staples and paper clips. So even though there may be attempts to differentiate their brands, we view them all the same. And when we view products as commodities, price becomes the most important part of how we decide which one to pick. Why pay more for something if they're all the same? The other type of product is really the same, similar, but it's called a generic product. They're still around. They're not as popular as they used to be, but they came out when there was a recession. And so they're a product with no branding. So this happens to be alcohol. It's just gin. You have no idea who made it, how it tastes, or anything like that, and so forth. So these really don't qualify as brands just because they're all the same. So that leads us to, what's a brand? Well, the American Marketing Association says a brand is any distinctive feature, like a name, term, design, or symbol, that identifies goods or services. This is a really term I like to use, small definition, and not what most marketers consider the proper definition. So to be thorough, I asked ChatGPT for the definition of a brand. It came up with these 4 definitions. So the first is Kevin Lane Keller, who's a renowned marketing professor at Dartmouth, and his definition is pretty much a set of brand-related associations held by the consumer, which add to the perceived value of the product or service. So it's what we think and feel about the brand that gives it its value. Philip Kotler, who might be considered the godfather of marketing, he writes, it's a name, a term, a sign, a symbol, or design, or a combination of them intended to identify the goods or services of one seller or group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of the competitor. It sounds a bit like the American Marketing Association one, though the word differentiate could mean different things in terms of adding value. David Ogilvy, legendary advertising executive, he said, hey, the intangible sum of a product's attributes, its names, packaging, price, its history, its reputation, and the way it's advertised. So, okay, not really sure what an intangible sum is, but obviously it's more than just the physical appearance of the brand. Seth Godin, popular marketing author, TED contributor, the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that, taken together, account for a consumer's decision to choose one product or service over another. So obviously, we can say right now, a brand is a lot more than a product. It has a lot to do with the customer's or the consumer's perception. So here's my big definition, which I borrow from Kevin Lane Keller. It's really the customer's perception of the product or offering. That's something we already just said, but it's a set of associations in the customer's mind. We often call those brand associations, based on direct and indirect experience, our experience using the brand, and our experience watching, hearing, seeing other people, reading about it and what other people have experienced about the brand. Okay, the communication about the brand that we hear from nowadays from the brand, from influencers, from review sites, and through social media, okay, that influences the customer's beliefs, attitudes, expectations, feelings, and behavior toward the brand. So I think a better way to say it, to sum it up, is it's a totality of the brand experience of the customer. And remember, the power and value of a brand is what resides in the minds of the customer. Perception and marketing is reality. So what are the consumer benefits of branding? One is we know who made it. So if we want to praise them or we want to tell them there was a problem, we know how to do that. It reduces risk. We already know what a brand stands for and what it's good. We already have that perception. So if I have a teenage son who's learning to drive and I need a new car, I'm probably going to buy a Subaru because they're one of the safest cars on the road, according to all their branding. It's also a search cost reducer. Instead of reading labels and doing a lot of research, I can just pick it by brand. Apple, Samsung, those are easy. It's a signal of quality. High quality, like products at Nordstrom, could be low quality, like Ocean State Job Lot or JCPenney. It's a symbolic device, meaning that we can use brands to say something about us or to boost our self-esteem. In other words, brands provide psychosocial benefits. I'm wearing polo, so I feel a lot better about myself. And ultimately, it's a promise or a bond, a contract, a pact with the manufacturer, right, with a consumer that forms a basis of a relationship. What are the benefits to marketers? Well, now they have a way to legally protect trademarks, patents, characters, etc. Again, it's a signal of quality to consumers. Customers are going to be more likely to accept your claims about what your product can do and so forth. You can provide unique features, associations to help differentiate your brand and make it stand out from others. Adding a lot of that up, it's a source of competitive advantage, a strong brand name. And ultimately, you make more money. Is branding bad? Well, you can think of it in some ways from a societal standpoint. It's expensive. So a lot of the money for marketing doesn't go into developing a better product. It goes into developing a better brand name. And a lot of that type of activity, developing a better brand name and branding, all right, doesn't make the product any better. It's not going in R&D. We're not providing better benefits. We're just doing a better job explaining or getting people to believe in the benefits. The brand name becomes that main determinant attribute, meaning that's what people look at. If you have to buy something and you're not really sure what to get, oh, it's Nike, it's Samsung, it's Apple. We'll use those brand names as, signals of quality. And all this makes it hard for new companies, new products, new brands to succeed because branding is expensive and people really latch on to it. So often you could say the key to success isn't a better product necessarily, but a better brand. So, now branding isn't easy. There's a lot of brands that fail and a lot of money spent on branding. First of all, customers have high expectations. So a brand isn't just a mark and even a signal of that it can be trusted or it's consistent, but really to be successful, you need to have this emotional bind to the consumer, according to many people. There's brand proliferation. There are just so many brands out there and products and good products so they all seem alike. And the more things become commoditized, the more commoditization there is, the more price is the main determinant of what people buy. So it's really hard. And people are taking product segments like, let's take shampoo, and now they're dividing it up into smaller segments. There's shampoo for oily hair, for dry hair, for damaged hair, and so forth. And so it's just so much more brands out there and choices, so much more competition. And it's coming from not only, and if we're talking about our country, U.S. brands, but globally. Private labels are gaining more and more acceptance all the time. So whether it's Stop and Shop brand, Amazon Essentials, Walmart's Great Value, etc., people see those as having relatively high quality. So there's an increased set of competitors. Now we have to brand not only for regular regular on ground brick and mortar, but also e-commerce and the combination. So they're not the same activities, and certainly you have to spend more money. And just in general, with media, higher costs, more types of media, clutter. So clutter is that there's so many messages out there. How can you pay attention? People see on average 10,000 marketing messages a day. Markets are being fragmented. TV shows, streaming are fragmented, hard to reach a lot of people in a single, advertising on a single show. We have a lot of tools for selective exposure, meaning, something's coming up, I can avoid it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to see it. And again, you not only have to do this for an analog world, you have to do it for a digital world. And then there's increasing changes in technology and how we do this, and new social media platforms and so forth. Marketers are still trying to figure out how to do a good job on TikTok. So, additional challenges. Marketing is under increased scrutiny to make sure that they provide a good return on investment. That, hey, the money being spent on marketing is actually earning more money. Now, one of the nice things about digital marketing is it's much easier to track. There's always a short-term focus. Brand building takes sometimes a long time. It takes a lot of money, investment, but companies often face short-term goals that they need to meet, and you can do things that can hurt your branding effort. Increase marketing costs. Again, these digital, analog, brick and mortar, e-commerce, right, marketing analytics now, data warehousing, all these things add more and more costs onto the basic marketing functions. And then again, we live in a time where there's so much change, and there's only a few of them, but not only technological change, but social change. Cell phones are replacing desktops and laptops for people, new companies and a sharing economy of information, Airbnb, Uber, delivery services, and so forth. E-commerce becoming brick and mortar. All right, also, companies like CVS and Walgreens, even though they're struggling right now, providing medical services. Who knows what's going to happen with virtual reality and AI integrations? Maybe somebody's mascot or character is going to be an AI, a chatbot, right? That has, unlimited opportunities to appear in all different types of media and stuff. Who knows? So there's a lot of challenges for branding. Thank you very much.